My voice is an instrument, fool.
So kind, would you mind introducing yourself for the podcast?
This is Nathan A. Verrill, and I'm with Fyrhtu.
And listeners of the podcast may also know you from Cardinal Worm, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But we're mostly going to be talking about Fyrhtu today. First of all, how would you describe the music of Fyrhtu?
The music comes from... It's electronic music, there's guitar, there's chanting vocals, kind of more or less ritual kind of incantations, and yeah. It is what you hear, I guess.
So it's clearly not music that's easy to describe in one or two words. In terms of genre, it crosses through a lot of things like ambient, experimental. In terms of mood, how would you describe the music?
In terms of mood, how would I describe the music? Lyrically, some aspects talk about try to interact with some of our kind of deepest fears, or my deepest fears, or our deepest fears. Some of it is attempt at a kind of exorcism of the kind of demons that possess us. And so that some of the mood, the music arises and inspires lyrics, or the lyrics inspire the music. Yeah.
And this is a project that you're doing with Leila, correct?
Yes. So Fyrhtu's been around for about a year, a little over a year. I think our first time we played live was in Montreal, and so some of the music has arisen from improvisations. So some of the stuff live, some of the music that's on the album, or some of the songs, actually all the songs on the album, have come from essentially improv and then solidifying the music, kind of working over the themes and respecting what arises. Each one has its own kind of spirit. Each song has its own feeling and intention and how it wants to be heard. And so we let it grow until it becomes fully formed.
Let's go back to the history of the project a little bit. You said that you formed around a year ago. What made you guys decide to pursue this project?
I've played music with Leila Abdul-Rauf's solo project for a few years live. Most of her albums, well, her solo albums tend to be mostly her. Some on a couple albums, there's I guess it on one, a couple of people, but mostly it's her. So we've performed in the past, and we had this idea to have something that was kind of a combination of our voices, and both physical voices, as in throats, and also visions and music. And so we kind of just had the opportunity to do that. We've just started essentially just to get together and see what happens. Yeah.
So exactly how does the writing process happen? Do you guys jam together? Do you start individually and then come together?
For the album that we've just released, pretty much there are actually sections on the album. There's sections of certain songs that are the original kind of impetus or jam. So we'd start jamming. Sometimes there would be lyrical ideas or phrases that would be improvised, or we bring in and then we expand on it from there. Yeah, we had so we have a song, Men Come Hunting, and there was one phrase in the chorus, almost the beginning of the chorus was kind of the first thing that came out, and then everything kind of solidified around that.
And I understand that you guys recorded it in your home, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a combination of recording so the quote unquote studio is the home, and then some of the things on the album is there's sections, parts. Sometimes there are some songs or parts of songs where it's from live performances, or there's a song where the entire section of it is from my section is from a live performance. And so it's kind of a combination of studio, quote unquote studio, and live. Yeah.
So does that mean that tracks began with the live performance and then you added instrumental parts on top of it? Or are some tracks live and some tracks...
Some sections, yeah, some tracks, there are sections of songs. So I think Men Come Hunting, the whole first section of it is from a live performance and kind of repurposed. Some sections are repurposed or re-edited, and like Leila's part is... We're kind of... We don't have a lot of respect for things in its original context. So if we feel like we want to reuse it in a different way than we do. So like some of it's live, and sections are moved around in different ways. They were in different contexts before, and then we reuse them. There's a whole song where the entire performance of mine is live. It's from a live performance, and then everything that like Leila has on there is from quote unquote the studio. So it just depends on the track. Or sections of the track, yeah. They're woven together.
So this is a question I have for musicians who do a lot of improvisation and work in a less structured way. When do you know that a song is finished?
I guess when you push it out the door.
Okay.
It's like, when do you know your children are grown or something? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent, but like,
But it sounds like you're doing the live performance and the improvisation is a starting point and, the raw material, for lack of a better term, and that a lot of the structuring happens in post during the production phase.
or the mood of the live performance determines the production phase. Yeah, so sometimes, like a live performance, there will be surprising transitions that you hadn't anticipated. So you'll have something that, like, oh, this shifts to this, and so then you want to emphasize it. So you will shape it in that way. So, yeah.
Falling embers, empire twilight, lightning thrusting down. Fistfights and half-lives, priest and discarded, distended, unrepentant vow. We slept too long, now they are born again. The heart beats strong, the blood beneath the skin. We slept too long, now they are born again. The heart beats strong, the blood beneath the skin. Rounds keep pumping, chamber to chamber. No silence, the gas surrounds. Suffocating, choking on darkness. From screams to scattered sound. We slept too long, now they are born again. The heart beats strong, the blood beneath the skin. We slept too long, now they are born again. The heart beats strong, the blood beneath the skin. There
Tell me about the vocals for the Fyrhtu project. Particularly, what do you mean by the term breathwork?
There's literally a lot of there's some breathing. There's percussive breathing. There's essentially there's some throat singing. There's things that aren't usually qualified as like traditional singing. So some stuff sounds ethereal or very quote unquote breathy. A lot of air, little pitch. So some things that may sound like instrumental or quote unquote noise might be vocals. Yeah.
So it's vocals without necessarily words. It's just creating sounds and using breathing to create rhythms. Is that right?
Yes, creating sounds, but also some things with words don't have pitch. But there is a lot of glossalia, speaking in tongues, that kind of thing, that is there. Some of that comes from live performances. Whatever occurred.
Can you guys actually speak in tongues?
Sure. Yes.
I guess everyone can if the spirit moves.
I mean, it has. It's happened, and it's there's evidence on the album. You open it up, you make sounds. There can be guttural sounds. There can be vowels that turn over, and you just kind of free yourself to open it up and let it out. Sometimes things fall into words in meaning, but other times it's just these sounds or syllables or vowels, stray vowels, syllables, words, tripping over your tongue.
So people will be able to hear the music on the podcast, but what sounds like singing and what sounds like words, am I understanding you correctly that you guys aren't necessarily saying anything? That they're just vocalizations?
Sometimes there are vocalizations happening as words are being sung. So one of us will be singing, and there are words, and then there will be accompanying vocalizations. Yeah.
So I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but the album is called No More Days in the Light, which will be released November 8th. How did Black Horizons get involved with the release of this?
Black Horizons had they co-released Leila Abdul-Rauf's last solo album. And we played shows with we played a couple shows with, I believe, the head of the label. So we have a personal relationship. So we just said, we have this album. Would you like to release it? And we got a quick text back of yes. So basically we're not in the same neighborhood. We live roughly in the same city. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys are based in the Bay Area, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're Oakland based.
So in addition to the music, you also created the artwork for the album. What am I looking at here? What is this red cup looking thing?
It's a red cup looking thing. Just abstract geometric shape, somewhat, reminiscent of burning embers. And
was the idea for it to be abstract and let the viewer decide what they're looking at?
Sure.
Where did the name come from, Fyrhtu?
The word comes from Old English, and it's from actually my experience of it, or like knowing about the word, comes from the Paris Psalter. There are these kind of early non-Latin, I wouldn't really say translations of the Psalms, because they ended up kind of creating their own. So this would be like Old English derivations on quote unquote Psalms. Yeah. So there is this, it roughly translates to fright. And there was this line that I was reading in Old English, that in translation and parallel Old English, that talked about, and I fell upon frightful days. And I just liked the turn of, or the word itself, Fyrhtu, so that's how I came upon it. And so it reflects in some of the subject matter for the band. So some of it reflects on kind of some of the internal and external nightmares, that we all hold, or I hold, or we hold.
Is there an overarching theme to the album?
There are a few different themes, but there is the presence of death or the experience of death and suicide in some songs, or other kinds of suicide, apocalypse, or,
Okay. So you guys will be playing a release show on November 2nd with Baron Ultra, Ivnix, and Exolansis. So unfortunately, this podcast won't come out until about a week after that. But what do you guys have planned for the release show?
We're playing some various tracks from the album. We also have some new material that's working towards the next album. So that's kind of what we do. And then like some improvisatory resettings of a couple of themes from the album. It's not like full songs. Yeah.
Given that improvisation is a big part of your performance, how clear of an idea do you guys have of what you guys are going to play on the night of?
For some of the shows, for this show, I think a good deal of them, there are songs, and then other shows, you create these kind of bounded spaces, kind of where you've worked on it, and you kind of know what the mood is for the section that you're working on, and then you just leave it open for surprises. And then live things, different things happen. You get moved, or the music moves you to do something else. It tends to take you in surprising directions.
So in addition to this album, you guys also have a collaboration with Grid Failure that'll be released in 2020. How did you guys work with Dave from Grid Failure?
I think Dave might have initially had some professional contact with Leila's bands, so he does some promotional work, and he may have contacted her first regarding that. Yeah, he's Grid Failure. Dave's rather prolific. He's releasing his he's got his sixth release for that project happening today, and he's been doing a lot of live work. I think he hadn't even premiered it live when we first started working. So we've got this. Yeah, we have a bunch of recordings that we've had for a while, and then we had some newer things that we laid in between them. He tends towards very kind of boisterous, aggressive kind of, vocal work, and live he's augmented it with, like amplified accordion and various other players. It's like Yeah,
Grid Failure sounds much more like a noise/industrial project. So when the two projects collaborate, what is the result? Like, what do you take from each other's music?
You just meet it where it is. Yeah, so in that project, there were tracks that I think came from. So there are three of us involved in it. So like there were various songs where one person would essentially start something, and then people would join in. They'd have their tracks and then kind of start a conversation with it. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's a lot of quote unquote noise stuff on it, and a lot of lo-fi electronic stuff on it as well. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a departure from what people hear on this album.
It's going to sound different, yeah. And actually, the next Fyrhtu album is probably going to sound different than this one. Everything just coalesces as it does. Probably the next one might be a little noisier than this one, but you never know. We have our hands on a lot of different things. So there's some folk influences, and there's electronic, and there's some noise stuff, and there's some stuff from the free improv scene. There's not a lot of metal in it, even though both of us have history in metal. Although I'm sure it influences something that comes out.
Have you guys already started writing material for the next album?
Yeah.
Do you have a release date planned or hope for, or anything like that?
For the next album?
Yeah.
No, not yet. There's a lot of stuff on the map, so we have a bunch of shows next year. We'll just take it as it comes.
So, in addition to Fyrhtu and Cardinal Worm, are you also involved in Terrabellum?
Yeah, I'm playing bass in Terrabellum. It's kind of a post-punk kind of band. We'll be recording in the next month. Yeah.
Do you guys have a label and a release date lined up?
I don't have a release date lined up. We have a couple of people that we're going to talk to about it, but we want to finish recording the album and kind of do a parallel thing of stepping out, playing live. Yeah, the projects with Sam Foster and Leila, who they were in a band together ages ago called Saros, and Sam has some history going further back in metal in the Bay Area, and Joe and Leila were also in Hammers, and I've played with Joe over the years. So it's kind of a meeting of the minds. Sam and I and Leila share a lot of common interest in post-punk and, krautrock and ambient music and things like that. So it kind of informs the instrumental part of the band.
I just recently started listening to a lot of krautrock, especially New. I think New were pretty amazing and pretty underrated.
Is there something that's caught your attention in particular? Any particular band?
New, the German band. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh yeah, I guess it's Neu. I'm not good.
Okay.
I know little about German, but I only know that Sam's quite influenced. He always he claims Neu as an influence. Let's just put it that way. Sometimes he's a little more boisterous as a drummer, and it's actually fantastic to play with him. But he can lock into the Neu grooves, but then more toms, I guess. Yeah.
Excellent. I look forward to hearing the album. And what's the status of Cardinal Worm right now?
Cardinal Worm there's a fourth album that we are either going to self-release or, I don't know, we have a couple of labels that we're talking to. Had a bit of a hiatus this year, and we may get back to doing some material, but like we have the album. It's there, and we basically have to put it out. So it's called well, anyway, to be revealed.
Enigmatic tease. I appreciate it.
Enigmatic tease. Not really so intentional. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be saying what it's called.
Okay. And so the first Fyrhtu album is called No More Days in the Light. It'll be out November 8th, 2019. You guys have a Bandcamp page and all that good stuff, right?
Yes. We'll be streaming on all of the usual, outlets.
And the cassette version will be out through Black Horizons. And I believe the collaboration with Grid Failure will come out sometime next year, 2020.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Thanks for talking.
Thank you so much, Nathan.
Thank you.
Cloak of fear we wear, keep us warm. Shade our eyes from the sun. Dress us in robes of shame. Safe within unburned skin. Cloak of fear we keep woven by. Mothers, fathers never die. In our breast lies a pain, wrapped in guilt.